introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. My name is Tom Murphy. I've worked for about 5 years. I work for Microsoft. So lots of people have opinions on that. And I guess on the whole area of social media, it's something I've been incredibly passionate about, always have been. I think it's changing how people find and use and share information. But I also think I'm a little bit pragmatic about it. So I think, some of the visionaries will tell you that, everyone's going to have a blog and everyone's going to podcast, and I just don't think that's realistic. I think this is changing how people find information. I don't like us to start thinking about them and us, old media, new media, because I don't think that's realistic for the short term. I think it's going to be, there will be new media, there will be old media, and people will use both. But I think it's an incredibly exciting time. I think it's still very, very early stages. If you look at all the technology changing, Twitter wasn't around 12 months ago, the growth of Facebook, all these technologies. So I think it's an incredibly exciting opportunity. I think the fact that everyone's here this morning means you're ahead of where a lot of people are. I think in Ireland we're still a little bit behind where other countries are. But I think there's good signs of growth and change. So I think it's very positive.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nevill Hobson. I'm based in the UK. I am a communicator, a blogger, and a podcaster. Communicator meaning that mostly in public relations, but also in organizational communication internally, so it embraces the whole thing. I work for myself. I consult with organizations, and the focus right now is very strongly on social media. I have a passionate view on social media and what it can do in organizations, which is why people like Tom are important to keep you down to the level ground areas rather than the evangelistic plane. Tom and I have actually presented together at a variety of conferences on UPR, right, Tom?
Yes.
And so what Tom said actually is a very good way to summarize why this is so important, why we need to pay attention to it, particularly from an organizational point of view, which is my very strong focus on this. What interests me more is not the technologies per se, although I am interested in as technologies, but the changes they enable us as people to do in how we communicate, how we connect with other people, the disruptive effect it has in organizations, and it is exceptionally disruptive. So we're seeing some very interesting things going on that is a collision almost, and what happens with that collision is what really fascinates me. So I'm very pleased to be here in Kilkenny and be part of this event. This is the first one, as you all know, in Ireland, so it's fantastic to be here with such a great group of people to talk about social media. So,
thank you very much. My name is Keith Bohana, and for the most part here, I'm a recovering accountant. I became an accountant many years ago, got bored, stopped, started using the internet about 10 years ago, and my passion is partially around social media, but it's more around micro-enterprise, and specifically how businesses, micro-enterprises being businesses under 10 employees, how they can, in the middle of trying to grow start-up businesses, or even change businesses that have been established for many, many years, on top of all the other things they have to cope with, like cash flow and dealing with suppliers and finding new markets in a changing marketplace, they have to struggle with trying to figure out which bits of technology they can use. And the reality is, and I'm helped by this because I went through .com for a couple of years and I was an evangelist, and Brian Greene is probably the person I know best in this room from those days. I was over the top, a pain in the arse about the internet, and in around about 99, 2002, 2001, talking to small businesses saying, listen, if you don't get a website, you're dead in the water. Now 5 or 6 years later, that's blindly, obviously, totally untrue. And this time around I have a much more balanced view. Everyone needs email. A lot of people need websites. The odd person blogs are appropriate for, and the rest of social media, to be absolutely honest, I haven't yet figured out a use for the vast majority of micro-enterprises. They couldn't care less. Partially they couldn't care less because they don't have the time, partially because they don't have the technical expertise, and partially because there is no valid use for a micro-enterprise for Twitter or Yahoo or microblogging or Flickr or YouTube, to be absolutely honest. That's it.